Help me with this idea. What rationale can Democrats give the American people if they opt to not even try to work with Republicans on this bill?
Well, thank you very much for having me, Stephanie. Well, we'll not do that. We are going to work with Republicans. Karen Bass has been doing a good job as chair of the caucus, leading on this. We just had a hearing on yesterday in the full committee. They voted this bill out. No Republicans voted for it, but I think they're going to rest on their bill coming out of the Senate. I noticed when the Senate had their announcement 2 days ago, there was a Republican House member standing with them. So I suspect that they've been coordinating their activities quite a bit. So the House is going to kind of go with the Senate bill. I mean, the House Republicans will go with the Senate bill. And then we'll hopefully have a real good conference. I don't want to see a ping pong. I want to really see a real conference where Democrats and Republicans, House and Senate, sit around the table and really talk through these issues, and maybe put up on the screen some video from Atlanta, from Minneapolis. Go back to Ferguson. Michael Brown, when I thought about what happened to Rayshard Brooks, the fact is Michael Brown's body laid out in the street in Ferguson for hours. This is the kind of stuff that we need to come to grips with. So I think that we have the real conference, get in a room and have some real facts and figures, put some video up on the wall and let everybody see exactly what we're dealing with. We may come out with a pretty good bill.
Well, what we're dealing with goes beyond police reform. If, in fact, you get to sit down and have a real conference, can you use this opportunity to actually address inequality? Think about economics for a moment. Your state of South Carolina has seen huge economic growth, while at the same time, you've got a massive amount of residents that are the working poor, and they have been for decades. Can you use this moment to also dig into things like education and poverty?
Absolutely. That's what I've been working on forever. That's why I have been pushing very hard for my little concept that we call 10-20-30. It's a formula that says whenever we appropriate money, at least 10% of that appropriation ought to go into these communities where 20% or more of the population's been stuck beneath the poverty level for the last 30 years. That's the Census Bureau telling us that whenever they determine that 20% of the population, 20% or more, has been stuck beneath the poverty level for the last 30 years, they call that persistent poverty. We've got to go directly at that persistent poverty and do it with health care, with education, with schools, with infrastructure, broadband deployment, community health care centers. This is the kind of stuff that we've got to do. And I am tired of hearing people telling me how much it costs. If we did everything I just mentioned, build 100% out of broadband, build 100% coverage of community health centers, it will be about 10% of what we spent on that tax break that this administration gave to the upper 1%.
To that very point, you put a letter out today calling on this administration to release the economic projections around unemployment, something they have always done, and they've decided in the last few weeks they're not going to. Is that because you are trying to show that what coronavirus has actually done has disproportionately hurt the working poor? You can't simply look at the stock market and say, well, we're all set.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. If you look at the legislation created in this select committee, we are to be overseeing these expenditures to make sure that the money is being spent efficiently, effectively, and equitably, making sure that this money goes out to people who need it. We've already determined that some people got money that did not need it, and some of them have returned it. And we would like to have all the information so we'll know exactly who's getting the money. I think Mnuchin is doing a tremendous disservice to the American people when he refused to make public. Transparency is what our governmental process ought to be about.
But Congressman, with all due respect, we knew he was going to do that. It is entirely predictable that this administration would not provide information that they weren't forced to do. So when you signed the CARES Act, why didn't you require all of the small business loan information to be made public? Your select subcommittee doesn't actually have any control or jurisdiction over PPP. How could that be?
Well, you got another committee that does have, the PRAC. It has control. We are the only ones overseeing this. So the fact of the matter is in the law that they're supposed to do this. He is breaking the law. And so, no, I don't look at somebody that says, I know they're going to break the law. When I saw that there, I thought, sure, that this man would abide by the law. He said he would. You go back and look at his testimony, he said that he would. And now he's saying there are privacy considerations. There aren't any privacy considerations you use in public money. This is a lot of poppycock. These people need to be transparent with this, but that seems to be the way this administration does business.
Then we have to keep asking questions. It makes absolutely no sense. I do want to ask you before we go about this moment. Obviously, you have had an extraordinary history as a civil rights leader. You ran an NAACP chapter when you were 12 years old. Look back at our country historically or in your lifetime and compare it to this moment that we're in right now. Do you think this time is different as far as could this be a moment to create real change?
Yes, it is different in many, many ways. It is similar to some of the things we did back in the 60s when John Lewis and I helped to form what was known as the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. We had the same kind of cooperation, but we lost that because that movement got hijacked. That's one of the reasons I've been speaking out as loudly as I possibly can. I wish back then that we had the benefit of people like Karen Bass and others. We have over 50 members, I think 53 House members in the Congressional Black Caucus. At the time, back in the 60s, we had a half dozen, or less than a half dozen. And so we did not have the benefit of all of these people on Judiciary Committee, on the Financial Service Committee, chaired by Maxine Waters. We have the benefit of that now. So I would hope that we will work together. The people who are bringing these issues to the attention of the American people, the people who are legislators and can do something about it, the corporations in this country that can make financial commitments to fixing some of these things. Let's begin to work together and do this right this time. We didn't have all of that before. It is different this time. It feels different this time. It looks different this time because this is different this time.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.